I want to welcome everyone to the Crypto Kingdom. This is London. We're going to dig in today to Bitcoin. We have a critical update, guys, a critical update. As you guys know, we have broken out and up, and guys, we have surpassed this final leg here. I'm very excited. We've broken through this line of resistance. I talked about this yesterday as the final mark and the final resistance line that we need to break through. So let's go ahead and delve into the charts. Let's get busy, guys. We appreciate you being a subscriber. If you would like to, please join our top level of membership, guys. That's the VIP level. The VIP level, guys, they're killing it every day. They're doing great. We had over 130, guys, over 130 VIPs the first month. It's that top level. You'll join from a desktop computer. Let's dig into this. I want to make this line a little bit heavier as we look at the pricing action today, just to make sure it's exactly the way we want. Looks like everything's fine, so you guys can see that real well. Let's adjust this line as well too. We always, guys, we work on the indicators. You guys know that heavily, and we always want to work with the right indicators. First of all, we always want them as well to be demonstrable to you. So I'm a former financial professional. You guys know our membership. We have all kinds of investment bankers, different people, blue collar to white collar. We just want to beat the market, right? It's really easy. We're in crypto. We love Bitcoin. We love trading. And you guys know this is the place to come for all of your most accurate information. Let me go ahead and bring you guys up so I can participate in the chats. Welcome, guys. Now, look, as we talked about this yesterday, we're going to go through this. This is very exciting news. I think we're the only one that covered this nuance. As you guys know, our Twitter, follow our Twitter. We talked about this rising wedge before anybody talked about this rising wedge, guys. This falling wedge, excuse me. We didn't talk about a rising wedge. We talked about the falling wedge. Now, the falling wedge, guys, is best demonstrated. Let's go through a recap real quick. Let's go through a recap of where we are now and exactly what's going on. Now, we had, in terms of Bitcoin, the current price, let's go over the current price, guys. A hefty 33,923, okay? 33,923. That's a nice price right now. We've gone through a lot of recent price gains, and it's just been really phenomenal to watch this occur. As you guys know, we caught this gain right in here. We caught this move right here, which was very, very crucial. This move right in here that essentially, guys, if we look at the measured move, or if we measure out the gains, guys, we're up. Look at this, guys. We're up. Excuse me, guys. We're up. I'm so sorry. We're up. Is it 16%? We're up 16%. 16% in 4 days. We'll take it. Thank you very much. Yes, that's a nice way to introduce everything. We're up, guys, over 15% in 4 days. That'll work, guys. Congratulations on your trades. I know you've been trading very well. I know things are going very well, so we appreciate you being here. This is an exciting time to be around something that's up over 15% in 4 days. That's what we're talking about. Very nice. Let's talk about this line here, this line in terms of can we build on top of that 15%, guys? And we're going to have a good session today. I'm going to talk about the notion of recovery. I'm going to talk about market recovery. I'm going to talk about in terms of the expectations you guys may have, where you may sit, and essentially how we can capitalize on the notion of recovery, what that kind of means. We'll also be talking a little bit about the JP Morgan move, some different things like that have hit the news recently. So in terms of this line, you guys know this line is kind of specific. This specific resistance line, guys. Okay, and it was a line of resistance that was measured here once, twice. We have these pivots right here. Okay, this line of resistance, and I'll thicken that line of resistance up. I want to go ahead and do that so you guys can definitely see. Let's go ahead and make that, and I'll make that a color so you guys can't forget it. Let's go ahead and make that pink for you guys. We're on the premium to pro edition of TradingView. You guys know that. So as we switch time frames, and I take for granted sometimes that you may not be involved with TradingView. So TradingView is an operational program, guys. It's a functional technical program. You can deal with your technical analysis on. You guys know that. As we look at this, we want to draw. Let me start with the trend line as well. What's the trend line, guys? It's going to be expressed by a contact of any 2 or 3 multiple hits along the same line, guys. We have a trend line function here in TradingView. You click on that, and you can connect any 2 lines of resistance or support. Okay, support's going to be on the bottom level. You guys know that the support would be on the bottom level. Multiple contacts along the bottom level. We had this line of support here. We had identified a descending triangle on the 1 hour. You guys know that the descending triangle would have been identified, and it was identified by a descending line of resistance on the top, guys. You know, and those are very bearish. We have broken out of that, but we decided, guys, we did some analytics on another time frame. So we decided essentially that while the smaller kind of macro, I'm going to say the macro to micro analytics were a little bit, I don't know, everyone was in a million different directions. So we went out to, what did we do? We went out to the weekly, guys. You remember that? We went out to the weekly. We were the first ones to do this. You guys are in the right spot if you want good TA, guys, good technical analysis. I know you guys know what you're doing. I'm not, just in case people want to watch this for the first time. In terms of this move here, guys, we had established this descending wedge. You guys know that. We were the first ones to do that. This falling wedge here, which is bullish. bullish, guys. It's bullish. And I just want you guys to look back through our tweets because we were the first one to bring this up. I was like, there's got to be something else. We had done too much angular work. We had done, it had just been, like as we go to the guys, this is a falling wedge textbook, guys, the textbook. I'm just going to talk to you about the textbook is literally, guys, right here. Bam, the textbook is literally, that's the book, guys. That's the book they use on Wall Street, etc. So that textbook is going to notify us that, yes, this is bullish by design. So we were actually, when I brought it to everyone's attention, I CC'd everybody. I CC'd Elon. I CC'd, what would I say? The platform that I trade on. Very good question. I'm so glad you asked that. That is crucial. Thank you very much. You guys have got to get on Gate. You guys know that Gate is the platform that I trade on, and guys, it rocks. I want to tell you, I was talking with a guy, a former analyst with JP Morgan today. I showed him Gate, and he's like, okay. He's a trader, guys. He's a heavy trader. He's looking forward to getting on Gate. We're going to be having discussions probably next week because he wants to get more involved in crypto. He's having fun with his investments, etc. But a lot of people are interested in Gate, guys. So Gate is going through the roof. It's very nice. We look forward to you guys joining up. You'll be linked with us, and you'll also share in commissions. It's not a one-way only kind of deal. We'll be linked. I'll see what everybody's trading, which is exciting. I can tailor everything to you guys in terms of what you guys are deciding to trade. So that's really exciting as a nice nuance of that. So guys, as we look at this falling wedge, right here, you guys definitely sign up. Don't think about it. Sign up. If you want to trade for $5, just sign up and check out the program. You're going to love it. It's the most sophisticated program that I've seen. I've seen a lot of them. This falling wedge, when I first brought it up, I brought it up to that entirety of the crew, was falling down into here. I'm like, this is not good. This is not what Bitcoin needs, right? To fail a bullish pattern, we can't have that, right? And since then, guys, we have swung to the upside hugely. I'm talking, guys, we have swung. I'm going to say we were down in this area. We've swung up, guys, a good, 15% on the other, and we'll measure on the other because the other's going to have more, I'm going to say variety in terms of the price action. The larger time frames are going to have, what are the larger time frames going to have? A more consolidated view, right? So you may have an aberration. You may have pricing all over the map on the smaller time frames, okay? On the bigger time frame, say the weekly as compared. See how the daily, if I go from the weekly to the daily, do you see that? The pricing, it just explodes right on the screen. So it's going to include all of this additional volatility. If we were to go from the daily, let's go through the basics today. I want to go through the basics. So we take for granted that everyone knows all the information that we're talking about. I know you guys are in a rush, but sometimes the more we review the basics, the better it is. Repetition is key, guys, in terms of your returns. So as we go down into the 4-hour, look at the additional volatility we get, guys, okay? So it's nice to start in the macro to see if you can define a trend, if you can define a pattern, right? Yeah, we always want to zoom out. We want to see kind of where we're at. These are the same pink lines, believe it or not, the same exact pink lines we drew over on the weekly chart. Okay, I can flip right back to it, and you can see you'll always need to be careful when you need to redraw, okay? If you're on the weekly and you start to draw, TradingView just doesn't have that built in yet. I think they want you to see the variability, though. It's kind of like a standard deviation. If you were to put in a regression trend, etc., it's kind of like, it's going to stick there. It's going to show you where it was. It's still useful, okay? You don't have to always do it. If you go from the weekly, in terms of redrawing, from the weekly to the daily here, you'll see that's where the consolidated price action happens right there. Enough so right there to where it folds over into, guys, on the daily, over into the weekly. Okay, so it's instructive in terms of where's the majority of the pricing action happening. You can still bring the lines over. You say, but that's the real line. That's kind of, those are the target hit points. That's the majority of the pricing action is occurring there. It's consolidated on that smaller time frame. You guys know that. So in terms of what do we have? Can you give Gate on the? You can do Gate on the mobile and on laptop. I recommend you sign up from a desktop, guys. I recommend you sign up from a desktop. And guys, in terms of Gate, I have to tell you guys, we have ICOs all the time, initial coin offerings. We are killing it. I went home last night, participated in a 2x, just like hello, no problem, just bam, huge price action, guys. Amazing price action. You guys get on Gate, you're gonna love it. I'm telling you, every week there's not a 2x coin. Every week there's a 4, 5, 6x coin. It's phenomenal price action in the midst of this retracement. Go get it, guys. Go get it. It's pinned tweet right there. You guys have at it now. In terms of the diagnostics that we have on Bitcoin, let's get back to the basics here. Because altcoins are fun. It's a startup, right? We get into startup. So in terms of this, the descending, the falling nature here, okay, of this wedge pattern, what do we know, guys? What do we know? Well, we know it's supposed to break up. We know it wasn't breaking up, okay? So I started on the macro. I started on the weekly, correct. I started on the weekly. It wasn't breaking up. I wanted to dig in, and I brought that to everyone's attention. Like, this is supposed to be breaking up. What do we have? We had the conference with Elon and Jack Dorsey. That went phenomenally well, guys. They're go-getter bulls for you guys. They also understand the volatility of the market. We're going to discuss that in a little bit here as well. The recovery, we're going to discuss that as well. And don't jump ahead in terms of recovery. We are up, look, guys, we're up 15% over the last 4 days. Phenomenal price action. That's what we want to see. Like that, those are where you're booking your trades. That's where you're entering into positions. Hopefully at the bottom, guys. Hopefully where you see that kind of that blue arrow, it says buy on it, guys. That's a standard indicator. I've adjusted a little bit, but that's a standard indicator that does give a reference towards that purchase, guys. That's a big deal. That is on, I'll just say in terms of the indications, guys, another buy on that indicator was in and around after that near all-time high. I'm going to say near all-time high. Everyone thought maybe it was. Even the big guys, 41,000. Remember that in January? Yeah. Then we retraced essentially to an EMA. I'm going to say we retraced, to an EMA about 30, what would we say? No, about 30,000. Hit that bottom at about 30,000. Another indicator to buy. So in terms of me saying it's a good time to buy Bitcoin, I'll tell you, hey, if we have an indicator staring me right in the face right now, it's a decent time to buy Bitcoin. I'll just say, as a matter of fact, if you follow just the basic indicator. Now, my group, we had beyond the indicator. We always talk about that second, third level of level of the second or third level of confirmation, guys. Not just a pattern, guys. But we talk about the indicators, all of the indicators behind the actual formations. We want that confirmation. It's the whole picture. It's the big picture we have to bring to the game, guys. So we're going to look at the RSI, the MACD. We're going to look at all the divergences. You guys know that. We're going to look at volume indicators. We're going to look at volume divergences. We're going to look at, guys, we're going to look at a lot of different things. Okay, we're going to look at overall volatility on different time frames. We're going to look at different patterns on different time frames. We are going to do that 99% of the work that other people don't want to do. We know you guys like to do it. That's why we're all here, right? So we appreciate that, guys. When we enter into a trade, we want a 99% chance. I'd say, guys, if we can get like sometimes 80, 85, we're like, let's go ahead and hit it. Let's go hit it. Now, if it's 99%, we're going to hit it as hard as we can. You guys know that. We enjoy that. Always with, the VIPs, what I like about their deal is always with that reserve capital at the bottom, guys. Heavy reserve capital at the bottom. That keeps it, able to enjoy this process. So as we look at this, guys, just to review real quickly, you guys know the percentage that we're up. I'm getting into the lower time frames so that everyone can what can we say? So that everyone can enjoy what they are doing in terms of their overall investing. Let me see, in terms of some questions, you guys, we'd really like you to join. We would love you to join. Let me see, you have to have your phone. Yeah, you may have to have a backup in terms of your phone, etc. In terms of things, we would like you to have a, what would I say, is Jag in the room? Jag, what's up, brother? I want to say hello to Jag. Jag, you now have a wrench in here. I'm going to go ahead and put you with a wrench if I can do that. Bam. Jag is a VIP. His now has a wrench in the room. We're going to give that to you, and congratulations to Jag. He's a big guy. He's trading real heavily. $1,000 weeks, just bam, 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 back to back. So you guys know some of the it's Saturday. We can talk about some fun stuff. Yeah, he's having back-to-back weeks, $1,000 weeks. Jag is in the house, guys, having a real great time. He's trading on Gate. He's really enjoying it, guys. So as we look at this, I want to talk about kind of the express potential. I also want to talk about the overall recovery. What do those mean to you? We'll talk again about confirmation, some different confirmations that you guys can, I think we can use this time to learn, definitely. So we've gone from the weekly, we've seen these pink lines, we've gone to the daily, we've seen how it's exploded. We keep these on here just for a moment, right? We don't need to really necessarily redraw these right now, but where am I heading? I'm heading down to the hourly. Why am I heading down to the hourly? Okay, because we broke through a real critical level, guys, a critical level. I talked about this yesterday, okay? And let's go back to the daily to talk about where you guys are at in terms of your holdings, okay? And you guys need to know this because it affects Bitcoin, it affects your altcoins, it affects everything, guys. And in terms of institutional investors, like, this multi-time frame sequence, I just know that they're doing this level of work, and we guys know you're doing it as well. You probably, I'm not going to say you do more work than them, but I know you guys are on it in terms of trading. It's very nice to have you guys. Now, in terms of the daily, let's look at the daily, what we had established yesterday, and this is going to get into why this was a big move today. And guys, we caught it. We were right on it. I was talking about ascending triangles in the back rooms of VIP, and what did we hit? Let's go over what did we hit just to talk about the price action, because it was sweet, dude. I mean, dude, excuse me, I'm sorry. It was that cool. It was sweet. It was a really nice move in terms of the move to the upside that we achieved. We have retraced a little bit since then. This nice action here, guys. We've just been on top of essentially all of it from, I'm going to say we've been on it since here. A lot of people entered into positions. Well, I don't even know if we need to talk about the real macro, but a lot of people have been in positions since this moment here. And guys, it wasn't an indicator that gave it to us. I'm going to tell you that. You know that it wasn't, guys. It was an ascending triangle. I was like, this is an ascending triangle, right? They can set the floor, they can set the base. Now it's a pretty small ascending ascending triangle. I'm going to say that, okay? It's a pretty tiny ascending triangle, but look what the heck it did, guys. It sent us up, rocketing up over 15% in 4 days. That's okay, guys. That's a good return. We'll take that ascending triangle, absolutely. So that back door, guys, once you join the VIP, that back door is going to allow you guys to plug in. And shout out to a few different people who contacted me back that I had taught instruction lessons to. Shout out, what's up from a while back. Just want to say hello to you. I hope everything's going real well. Some alpha traders that we really worked on honing their skills. Alpha is the percentage by which you beat the market, okay? We don't want to just operate with the market. Anyone can make, okay, 15%. Could you make more within this time frame? You bet you could. You bet you could make more than 15%. You guys know how. Well, let's define a few channels. It gets real easy, guys, in terms of, you want to start a trading. Bitcoin's real good at this. You guys know this as well. You want to start flipping some trades. You want to start getting into kind of some swing trades, guys. When you get some defined volatility like this with some exterior and some interior pattern channels, guys, this is just a day trader's dream. That's exactly what we were built for right there on your screen. That's exactly what we lay into, and it's not just on Bitcoin. It's with anything, guys. We have, an upper and lower bound. There we go, an upper and lower bound. We have a line essentially of maximum, okay, a line of maximum and a minimum line as well, okay. That's going to define our take and our cuts, guys. Our take on the bottom, our cuts on the top. We have a threshold to scale in or out of if we so choose. Just to talk about day trading, guys, and within this is on the hourly. This is boring stuff. You guys know we dig in deep, guys. So in terms of the overall price right now, let's cover that, guys. It's currently at 34,000, over 34,000. We'll take that, guys. Way to go, rocking that up from 29,000 for 29,000 to 34,000. Beautiful move, guys. Congratulations. Very well done. Now we're going to get into the detailed nuance. Sorry, I had to diverge a little bit there in terms of the overall the mechanics of day trading. I had to get into it just for a moment, and we can talk about that. It's a good introduction actually to this trend line. Let's go to the trend line and let's talk about why would that be important, because guys, this was such a specifically nuanced, drawn trend line right here. This was such an important level, I'm going to say, for us to respect and for us to understand. Guys, it was hugely, you had to be extremely specific to catch this trend line. And I'm talking extremely specific because not everyone's going to catch this, guys. If you're catching this, you're in the top 5% definitely of the market that's operating. And I want to just draw this. I'm holding down if you guys hold down the control button while you're drawing, guys, it's going to snap to grid, okay? That's a real important function of TradingView. You're going to see how nuanced I get here. I want to make sure that we are perfectly on this trend line, guys. I don't want any. I don't want any drawings. I don't want anything on top of this trend line. This trend line is going to be perfect, guys, and that's how I draw them in terms of, guys, that's how we define the top. That's how we define the top of Bitcoin. And shout out to the individual who contacted me back after I had taught him alpha trading. So this is the critical nature of the result right now, or I'm sorry, not the result of the alert. What I fashioned in the title here is the following, guys. We are right on this trend line. I talked about that yesterday. We did break out up above it, but guys, let's look at the nuance level of exactly where we're at, and this is where you want to make sure your trend lines are so perfect. See, look at this. See, look at this, guys. Now this is why I just demand, guys, I'm sorry, it's going to take a second. I'm going to redo this as many times as I have to make sure that I can do it right in front of you so you can see the level of specificity that's required. Do you see that? Bam, that's right along the high, okay? We want that high point there. Then what do we want to do? We want to connect this high here. Is that perfect? Nope. Close enough? Nope. We want it perfect, don't we? Absolutely, we want it perfect, guys. We're going to draw this straight down to that. Now I'm going to recheck it. I just want to make sure, guys, it's not going to be halfway with me. You guys know that it's going to be perfect. I'm going to say we are right along there right now, guys. I think we're right on that trend line. There's going to be a little bit of variance. The next move I would do to really make sure, guys, this is the level people trade on. I want to let you know, guys, I trade all the time. I hammer in and out of this stuff. This is the level that people trade on. If you're not used to this, get used to it, guys. This is what we do in terms of the level of specificity. Now, in terms of like having multiple monitors, etc., we do have some some different equipment where we have 4 or 5 monitors up. It gets a little easier to do than maybe the setup I have right now. We're kind of mobile right now. I'm having fun, and we're in kind of the HQ, the Crypto Kingdom HQ. I'm London, so it's nice to have you guys here. Welcome to everybody. Just now, in terms of things. What I will say is the following, guys. This trend line that we talked about yesterday, we did break up above it. It was a huge move, guys. We're really excited about that. In addition to the, already it was about 15% that we had covered. Now, I talked about this trend line particularly yesterday. Why? Because it's the last vestige of a trend line that we need to bust through aside from any type of a horizontal, okay, prior resistance. I'd say a horizontal prior resistance. Hey, what's up? I love that, huh? Very, very nice. Loving that, huh? We have a brand new member of Basecamp, guys. That is phenomenal. Crypto Cross, what's up? Hey, like that, man. You got a nice right cross. We talk about the knockout trade all the time. Nice to have Crypto Cross in the house, guys. You welcome him. And Crypto Cross is now a Basecamp member, and very important, guys, because he wants to go up. All right, that's it. And he wants to go up. I'm going to let you know. You can definitely plug into the Twitter, etc. We're really excited that you joined. We do believe that, guys, it's the membership has its privileges, and we look forward to connecting with you on Twitter. Make sure you go to Twitter. Now, in terms of the overall pricing targets, etc., all of that information is withheld. I'm going to say, the majority of it, I do quite a bit via Twitter, so you'll enjoy that being plugged in. And I'll plug in with you directly. But we look forward to you. It's Basecamp, just like Everest. We look forward to him getting up to VIP. You guys know that. But big shout out. You'll have your badge in the room now. We appreciate that. I mentioned that. He jumps right on it. I bet he's a good trader. He hears what needs to be done, and bam, he gets to it. So in terms of this, guys, it starts to look a little bit. I'm not going to say, I don't want this to look overly technical, okay? And that's easy to say right now. Let's get rid of some of the lines. When things start, when everything starts getting a little bit too wrapped up here, guys, what do? Well, we just go in and we just take care of some of the lines, right? So these two white lines, guys, those would be the horizontal, okay? That would be a horizontal. Let's go ahead and change this line here to the expression, to an equivalent expression, so we would understand what we're up against right now, okay? And as we scroll out a little bit, it'll become a little bit easier for us to see this is what we're kind of up against right now. And I'm going to just draw this, and the same thing I've drawn the entirety of the time. Now, the big part of this, okay, this is only on the hourly. You guys got that? This is only on the hourly, yet it exists, and it's being respected. Okay, it's being respected. Okay, I brought this up as a potential, and now, guys, we've achieved the top of this triangulation. We are now in the process. The reason I made this so specific, guys, was because right along here, these two critical points right in this area, if you do not have this trend line perfectly established, the entirety of the line is going to be off. Okay, so if you don't have this trend line, these two contact points perfectly established right here and here, the entirety of this trend line is going to be off. If it's off by a hair, if it's off by just a bit, and that's where you guys are going to definitely enjoy Gate. Gate is the most precise trading platform I have ever used. I'm saying that as a matter of fact. In terms of drawing your trend lines, in terms of your entries and your exit and the pricing action, it is the most realistic, guys. This is the best system I've used. That is not a plug. That is the truth. You guys use it. You guys check it out. The pinned tweet has it right now, and that will link us up. You guys will share in commissions, believe it or not, with me with that link. So we had talked about this descending triangle. Now let's look at one thing real quickly. Let's differentiate this. Let's go back to the 4 hourly. Well, see, on the 4 hourly, we do have this. Okay, we do have this. Let's go back onto the there we go. Things start to fall apart. What is it on the daily? So we have the expression on the let's go from the 1 hour. Let's make sure on the 2 hour. Is it still there on the 2 hour? Let's see how many time frames. This is how we start to give weight and credibility to a specific factor. Okay. Now, of course, it's not on the weekly. Of course, guys, that we just covered, it's not on the daily. Okay, it's not on the daily. This trend line, I'm just saying, this trend line is not on the daily. You see, on the daily, we've already cruised through this, guys. We've already cruised through any trend line. You see that? So when we dig in, when I'm talking about confirmation for a major move, when you're talking about entering into a trade, understand when we switch from the daily to the 4 hourly. What do we have on the 4 hourly? Well, we have two contacts along the same point that we see it. We see it on the 4 hour, and let's just go through the diagnostics. We haven't poured through this online, so let's do this. Now, we see the 3 hours off. Okay, so the 4, we have it. 3, not as common, not as commonly used. The 2 hour, okay, the 4 hour, the 2 hour, and the 1 hour. So we have 3 indicated time levels. Now that would make sense, guys, because of all the people using all the different time frames. They are gauging their trades based on these different time frames. Some like the 1 hour. Some guys, trading view defaults to the 2 hour. Now I'm going to bring this up because, guys, it's not on the daily. It's not on the daily at all. It's just completely gone. We've blown through it. The hourly, it's there. It is there. Now, what have we done that's important, guys? On the 3 different time frames, as people talk about, well, it's a critical line. It's this and that, guys. What is it? It is an intra. It's not indicating. Why am I talking about the daily? First of all, get this in context real quickly if you can. Why am I talking about the daily? Because the daily is the clearest expression that we have of the largest macro pattern, guys. That is the strongestly indicated in terms of the price action right now, guys. We have a a huge move to the upside. We have 15% in 4 days. 15% in 4 days is it's a huge move to the upside, guys. That just screams out, guys, falling wedge. It just does, and that's indicated on the larger time frames. On the monthly, it's difficult to get past something on the monthly, guys. You can get into the nuanced structure of a smaller time frame. It's difficult to get past something that's occurring on the monthly, guys. On the daily, it's difficult to get past those patterns. So that's what's occurring at the larger time frames. When we dig in, things just get a little bit messier. A lot of people still trade, though. A lot of people still trade. Yes, on the 4 hour, on the 2 hour, on the 1 hour. As we look at the 1 hour, this trend, the trend line exists. It just does. So we have broken above that trend line. We're currently above that trend line. That's the good news. We're above it. What do we need? We know we need a breakout to enter into a trade, guys. If you're looking to trade this, what do we need? We need to break through the prior resistance, correct? Okay, break through. Now, this is, guys, this is on the micro scale. Okay, on the macro, we're just, kind of hanging out. Well, I guess they're doing something on, we are, guys. That's what we're doing right now. We're doing something on the smaller time frames to get in and bust this up, and we love trading. That's just what we do. We don't just do it down to the 1 hour, guys. We get into, guys, there's 21 time frames. We get into the 30 second. We get into the 1 minute. We get into the 1 second, guys. We love trading that much. We really enjoy. We're also interested in the overall space in terms of long-term appreciation of crypto. You guys know that. But on the weekends, we're going to cut loose a little bit and be like, we love to trade. You guys know that. We just love to trade. A lot of great, phenomenal traders in the VIP. I want to let you guys know that. If you are looking at joining VIP, you have no idea how good the traders are. I'm just going to tell you, they are the best. We have former financial professionals. We have from BlackRock to JP Morgan, et cetera, guys. I was talking with the JP Morgan guy just a minute ago. And what do we got here? I see you, Julian, and I see you. Let's talk about the reason that this is a big move right now for day traders, because day traders are definitely involved in this, and people who want to appreciate the price. Is a good price right now? Is it going to fall down? Well, where are we? Well, we have formed a triangulation, okay, right on. And, guys, I drew that trend line. Look at how well that's conforming. Look at this. Now, this is huge, guys. Please pay attention, guys. Please pay attention to this, okay? Please pay attention to this. Look at what is occurring right now. And in terms of this triangulation, now, I entered into a position. I told the VIPs, I said, I like what I'm seeing right now. Now, I am prepared to level up even heavier, guys, at a lower level, were anything to occur. But I've entered into a position, okay, I was about to stream, etc. I was like, I like the formation that I'm seeing, okay? I'm seeing an ascending line. It looks like the buyers are continuing to push this up, okay? This line of support is just continuing to be pushed up. And as I see a bit of a differentiation here, I have seen, and now there's a caveat here, but this is beautiful. I'm so glad that we use the specificity in terms of drawing this out, guys. This is really nice. I really, really like this. In terms of the specificity, we have this triangulation. Yes, the triangulation is there. Now, I saw this expressed potential of the triangulation beforehand. Now, the reason I like this is because it appears as if we are breaking down out of this small triangulation, guys. These small triangulations are leading to moves of 10, 20% in the overall market. You know that, sometimes 20, 30, 40, 50% in different coins as they recover, right? So these are big moves to look at. Is this going to break up, down? What is it going to do? Is your Doge going to go up? Is your V-Chain? Is your Hollow? I mean, guys, from ADA Cardano to guys, whatever you're into, Ethereum, etc. And there's some contraindications there. But we look at this with that level of specificity because it's the pit boss, right? It's the head honcho in terms of crypto. And there's a reason for that in terms of the technology, usability, etc. A lot of competition out there, though. You guys know that. A lot of great coins out there. Now, I could go ahead and drop this down. Not a problem. I could. Now, I had this drawn here earlier on as it was forming this. I like the way it is broken down. Why do I like that? Because, boom. I love that. Look at that, guys. I just love that. Look at the way I had it drawn down. That's a line I just drew right now. You just saw that? Period. You just saw that? I love that. You see what a difference it makes to be specific. Guys, if you can't rewind that at some point and put that on your screen and rewatch what we just did in the last, guys, if you can't do that, please, I'm just going to tell you, please redo that, because that's the level of specificity that this place brings to the game, that I try and bring that to the game all the time, guys. What is that? Boom. Look at this. Do you see this? That is what I'm talking about, guys. You have a hit along, boom. That is, guys, that's a perfect target. That's what I love doing when we really, really nuance, fine-tune everything. We really, really drill into the specificity, and look at what we've done. Guys, we have perfectly identified the point of impact here as being right along the line of this level of previous resistance. Guys, look at this. The previous resistance, that's this same line we just drew out. This previous resistance, look at this. perfect line, and we have just contacted it, what would appear to be for me in my position. But see, I understand the technicals. Do you see that? I understand. Well, it's not that I've necessarily fallen out of my triangulation. No, it's that, well, I guess it wanted to go down and strike perfectly and try and achieve a confirmation potentially for a move to the upside. That is what we're involved in, guys. That's the level of detail, the nuance, that level of specificity. Beautiful. Did you guys see that? I hope everybody saw that. If you didn't see that, guys, that's why we check the candles after the line chart, etc. That's beautiful, guys. That's nice. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's nice. If anybody paying attention on that, that's pretty good, huh? Because we're on a smaller system too. I mean, we could maybe done 1, 2, 3 punch in terms of like, well, you got 5 monitors. I'm on a nice the top of the line kind of system right now. So that is beautiful, guys. That's very well done. That's what's going on there right now. We can explain that very accurately to you guys because that's, we've done that level of specificity. That's what we always try and do to our VIP, for our VIP members, etc., and for all of you subscribers. So we're very excited to be able to bring that to you, guys. That is huge. That's a nice way to discuss things. Now, in terms of recovery, I wanted to discuss a few things in terms of recovery. Guys, I want to talk about people who are getting very bullish on the entirety of the market. I want you to think about where we've been the last 60 days. I want you to think about the pricing action of all the different prices of all the different coins, etc. And I want to stop thinking about, if we can, let's stop thinking about the all-time highs. I think we're in a good position right now. People have had time to adjust to things. People have a new kind of, there are new people in the marketplace. You may be brand new to crypto. Everyone's talking about an all-time high. Guys, that happened. We have been for 60 days in a sideways trajectory on Bitcoin, guys. It's been, what has it been, 67 days, 65 days? We have reconsolidated. We formed a new trading zone that has held wonderfully well. It's I hate to say it's that level of stability, relative stability that we kind of been looking for a while. I think that as much as I don't want to state this, I think that, and we have dropped from one level, I'm going to say, down to another operating level, okay? That's been kind of almost a measured move as we look at the amplitude here and the drop down into the second level. There may be some additional express moves beyond what we're forecasting right now. I'll always say that. When I mention the word recovery, understand, I want to talk about one thing, and guys, that was a good enough move right there. Well, excuse me, a good enough move in terms of the entirety of that measuring. I'm comfortable with that. You guys know what to watch for right now. That's I don't want to waste time. I do want to talk about recovery in one aspect. Recovery has a lot of different connotations. You guys know that. Recovery in the context of this can mean what? A lot of people were involved in the market, were involved in Bitcoin and your altcoins, etc. A lot of people involved in the crypto space in and around the top. A lot of people bought in and around the top, okay? And we use this dynamic, and the individual who contacted me today that I had done some teaching with, this top formation here, okay, a lot of people were involved in that. A lot of people bought in that. Now, that's not the average price of purchase, guys, for Bitcoin. That's not, guys. The average purchase price is going to be somewhere in this area, believe it or not. It's going to be much lower, okay? We can measure that, okay? I could talk about that in another stream. But in terms of the entirety of the notion of a recovery, we have lost a lot of value, yes. We think recovery means, well, it's time to go up. Well, that's an easy way to kind of describe it. I want to talk about the recovery, the mentality of what is occurring and what needs to occur with people who've been in crypto. At what point are they recovered financially? At what point are they in a position to where, a lot of people lost a lot of money in the market? So the recovery, yes, it's going to be with a price. It's going to be, I'd say, a component of the market, kind of, the fluidity in terms of whether or not it's on an Elliott wave, whether or not it's on it's going to hit a Fibonacci, and then we're going to recover to the up. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the impact that the market has had on individuals, and those individuals have been very much invested in crypto. So the crypto investors, okay, have gone through a loss. They need to recover. Now, whether or not it's going to be a recovery through the mechanism of investing, that's one. Through investing additional in cryptocurrency, maybe a recovery of the price would achieve a fulfillment, a refulfillment of them financially. However, I want people to consider that the load or the loss that they have achieved, or that they have received as operating in crypto. And you guys know we were not at the top selling Bitcoin to people. We were not doing that, guys. I was talking to people about the fact that we had reached the maximum. The guy who contacted me today, an old student, he knows. I shared a chart with him, sent it to him, Kent Gifford, etc. I'm not sure who got the charts, etc. But in terms of that, it was just very clear this was going down. That was exactly screen shares, etc. That's the next move. So in terms of that, we weren't part of that, generative kind of episodic kind of, manic deal of pushing that to people right now. I'm not a part of that right now. What I am discussing is the fact while we're seeing, bullish indications, and guys, if anyone didn't want to make 15% in a period of 4 days, then, they can blame me for being bullish at this time and bringing this to the attention of people, etc. But in terms of the entirety of things, people have lost an amount of money. Now, that affects some people more than others. What do they need the opportunity to do? They need an opportunity to recover. Now, whether or not that occurs through the increase in price, we know the price is going to go up and down. We're comfortable. I'm comfortable right now with the price. I think it's fine. If I could get it lower, I'd be happy. I think everyone, when it was at 64, you'd be like, if you could get it for 30, would you? You'd be happy. But of course, we'd like it to appreciate in price as well. So the losses that were incurred, this 50% drop and more in the altcoins, guys, that 60 to 75% sometimes in some of the altcoins, that incurred that caused a lot of losses in people's lives. They lost a lot of money. Okay, so there's a notion also, in addition to the price needing to recover, like, well, that would fix it. It would. Excuse me. But in addition to the entirety, let me just move around. In addition to the entirety of the recovery, they may be able to, and there's a phenomenon that occurs, they may be able to recover the money or to recover financially, say, through other means. They may have a different business. They may be looking at some other means of revenue. This may just be a different component of what they're doing, right? So that's a different nuance as well. People need to recover themselves. The overall market, those interested in crypto, I'm going to get into a facet that I think this is worthwhile, guys. We don't discuss things like this. So for people who are interested in this, I want to discuss this dynamic of the market. It's not financial advice, In terms of people losing, they're going to have other resources to assist them to recover to where the loss that they experienced in crypto, guys, is replaced. Now, the people who lost, a lot of them still love crypto. Now, that money can be generated back and thrust into the crypto market. So when you talk about a market recovery, there's one thing to talk about the price action. Well, the price action needs to recover. Sure, it does. The people who have lost thus far also have residual sources of income, outside sources of income, to recover from the loss that they've been through. Why is that important? Because right now we're in the process of educating people. I really feel like it's important to educate people on the sophistication of the technical analysis here. Absolutely. And I want people to consider, I really feel like it's a duty of ours, if we understand pricing levels, if we understand bullish and bearish, and we understand the golden pocket versus, a falling wedge, rising wedge, if we understand all of these components, I really feel like we have a duty to try and educate people who A, have lost money, B, who have done well and maybe not have known how, right? And as as each educates us in their own way. But let's say ones who've lost money, or ones who've made money, or the ones who are entering into the market who don't know anything about technical analysis. The last thing we want to do is to get involved in a bullish scenario where we're absolutely running through the doors. It's a Pamplona bull run, right? We don't want to get involved in that. Now, we just got 15% in 4 days. It's a huge event, guys. We traded. We made money, guys. It was a nice event, but we don't want to create this buzz for people who don't understand pricing action, who hear Bitcoin is a great buy right now. They go in and leverage with 300 grand, and the next thing they know, they're upside down. And what did we do? We put all our money into it. We want them to understand, along with everyone else, guys, it's looking nice, that, but we want them to understand, yes, that there are pricing levels below. There are ways to buy investments, okay? Now, I'm not going to give you the financial advice. You can go to a broker. But in terms of the levels, you can invest in T-shirts, guys, from Walmart if you want to, and color them up and have your business together. You can do all kinds of stuff, right, in terms of whatever you choose to invest in. But understanding it's not just what you want to invest in, it's at what price. And Walmart is a good example. Just as as you look at things, most people get involved in something they want the price to go up. It's going to be a dynamic price action, right? We're convinced of this. That's why we're getting involved in it, right? Okay, they're listening to all the hype. Well, I always tell people, you want to invest in it, that's great. Well, at what price? And like, well, what price is it right now? Well, hold on. Well, what if you could wait a week and get a 10% discount? Wait a week and get a 10% discount. Yeah, that sounds good, right? If someone has a week to wait. So in terms of that, in terms of all the TA, what we want to do is we want to try and educate people who are getting into the crypto space, okay, while people are recovering. That people are recovering and they just lost. At some point, that's going to kind of fade out of the market. And now we've been in this zone for about 60 days. Okay, we've achieved. I'm going to say we've achieved 60 days of sticking together, of trading, and a lot of fun. People made a lot of money in our group. I'll tell you that much. It's been nice, and you guys may have done really well. If you have lost during this time, you're still looking to recover yourself. Hey guys, you're in the right place. I understand what's going on, right? I like this dynamic in terms of expressing the fact that we need to. I don't want to say support, but we need to provide some additional potential knowledge. And if you guys have it, share it with us. But that additional knowledge in terms of we're in this position. Some of you are recovering financially from outside sources, from your other residual, from your other residual jobs, your businesses. And now you're wondering, well, say you're down right now. You might want to know, well, is this really the time to invest, this much more? Because maybe you already understand Fibonacci levels. There's still a golden pocket. There's still this and that. You don't want to second guess too much and be too reserved. You don't want to, over guess. You don't want to be too bullish and be upside down. There's always a balance, guys. Finding the right group. I just really believe that finding the right group is really key. Understanding the technicals is really key. Getting from the big time frames down to the microscopic time frames. Is it something that you can enjoy? A lot of people I've met recently, guys, they entered into heavy positions and around the top, believe it or not. Some people I've talked to have entered into positions, around the top, and I'm like, I didn't even know they invested in crypto. Like, well-to-do people, respectable, like, high-end people, and, fancy cars, Mercedes, all the big houses, country ranches, whatever, and I'm like, you invested in Bitcoin. Wow, surprise. I was surprised. And they're like, yeah, I bought it at 62,000. I'm like, what? You bought it at 62,000. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Now, and the thing is, they don't seem worried at all about it. And that's the one thing I noticed yesterday is like, they don't seem worried at all about it. And I'm like, well, maybe it's the second ranch. You parked it at I don't know. I mean, I'm just worried. Like, we're concerned about price action. We want to book positive trades. So when I run into that dynamic is just very, very interesting in terms of like, right now, people who enter the market, they're very concerned. The ones I meet are very concerned. They're very interested. They work hard for the money. They want to know, as a matter of fact, what's the right price? Do you really believe, especially if you have any indication, if you do any kind of technical? So that's a big responsibility for all of us to get involved in. So we definitely appreciate you guys understanding that dynamic. Understand that people are recovering as you're potentially recovering, or as your price has recovered in your holdings over the last several days. Over the last 4 days, guys, Bitcoin's been up. It's been up 15%. Your holdings have increased, guys, maybe a multiple thereof, right? So that's nice. You may be looking for a cut point or not. I'm going to tell you, we are at a real critical phase right now. There's a real critical phase. On the lower time frames, guys, on the hourly, you guys understand. On the hourly, it's a huge, guys, this is a big phase. We have broken through this resistance line. I brought this up last night. The good thing is we're on top of it, guys. We are on top of it, both in terms of me bringing it to you, but also in terms of the resistance line. We've broken through. You guys know the routine to enter into a trade from this level. We would want to break through you, and guys, we want to break through, and we're going to loop around. The price is going to loop around just like it has, guys. This is textbook. It's going to loop around, going to use the previous resistance as support and want to move to the upside, guys. And this might be a nice little measured move. I'm just going to say of the previous move up. We can do the actuals on it, but I think a lot of people are going to use that as a take in and around the 35,400. I'm going to say in and around that 35,400. There's going to be some pressure there that is going to run into potentially. And as I look at this, we're almost over and above that. We brought this up yesterday too, didn't we? We're at a kind of a dual confluence zone here. And this is nice for us to see this because I guess we have, haven't we? Interesting. We have defined this bottom level zone, haven't we? With that perfect strike here on the candlesticks. Very interesting. As I'm starting to do the horizontal analysis and get into the triangulation, we're seeing some additional pressure that's being exhibited here. That's kind of right in front of us as well. If we get into that, it's going to get a little bit messier. I'm going to tell you a little bit messier because now your take zone is 1, 2, 3. So now you have multiple take zones before you get to your target. Not sure I necessarily want to bring that up to you, but out of full disclosure, I'm going to go ahead and do it. How about that? So you have multiple takes. As you look at all these white, the white zones here on the right, you have multiple take opportunities if you're looking to scale out of an investment. It would be nice, guys. It's not financial advice. It would be nice if we get some institutional levels of concern in terms of just cranking this thing thing on up through. If the market supports it overall, we may not have to play jagged edge all the way up through this, guys. It may not be indicated. So yeah, not to withhold anything, but it just gets a little bit more complicated when we deal with all these, because we have a lot of price action. And what is the key here is that we're on a lower time frame, guys. I can go, if you want to talk about all the different levels, let's go into, for instance, let's go into 30-minute. You want to go into 30-minute? Or the let's find one with a lot of different pricing levels. Let's go, like, if you want to go to maybe the 5-minute might be a good one. If we were to talk about all of the different levels on the 5-minute, as you can see the level of variety in here, it is just incredibly volatile. So if you were to talk about all the levels of resistance at the lower time frames, the hourly is probably a good one to do it on, guys. But as we talk about the lower time frames, you're always going to get this increased level of volatility. You're going to get the more consolidated view along the daily. So that is probably, that's probably as nuanced as we need to get. I'm going to go back to the daily, and you guys got that complication. Not sure I should have really thrown it at you. If you're in a trade, enjoy it. I'm going to say that. Enjoy your trade. You guys know how to trade. I'm going to go back to the original, because, guys, we were the first ones to really call this out. I was very happy about that, and we shared that on Twitter. We're happy to share it with other channels in terms of you guys. If you're using our stuff, we're happy you are. We hope it's very helpful. We really do. We're going to go through a few kind of instructional, I'd say, lessons or routines here over the next several days, talking about RSI, MACD, some different things, so people can learn, kind of what the overall, because I don't think everyone really knows, and we have new people coming into the space, and I think we should be accommodating to them as a channel and as a community. We should want to open our arms. One of the things about crypto right now, it has been adopted by whom? By a really high-tech crowd. You guys know that, by a really high-tech crowd, from SpaceX to Tesla, advanced cars, self-driving cars, to rockets to the moon, So when we're looking at to Twitter, the most advanced social platform, etc. So when we're looking at the word adoption, people are looking at, well, we want to achieve adoption. Guys, we have adoption right now with a really highly technical crowd. The corporate crowd that's involved in Bitcoin is hugely technical. Right? We're very technical. I took a step back today and I thought, well, what's going to be the key catalyst here? We need some. I thought about the wealth management division of JP Morgan this week that just said, yes, we're going to offer crypto funds to our wealth clientele. Correct, right? So that's a big move. That's going to hit the retail streets in terms of the wealth management division. It's not going to hit the pension funds. It's not going to get into the corporate structures of corporate America. It's just not. Okay, it's categorized now as a high-tech kind of a high-tech field. It just is. That's not bad. I think it places us in a very interesting position, guys, because you're very sophisticated. You're very technical. You guys are probably advanced in terms of engineering or some sort of technical background. Maybe in just investing, business acumen. There's something about you calculates and is able to process like electronic digital currency. Guys, it's still that far out there, and I want to talk about the overall value a little bit, because we're constantly looking towards like this end-all be-all goal of where this market's going to potentially go. Do you realize there is a retail level of involvement right now, but most people who are trading and really involved in it are highly technical. Now, we'll have some, you guys know that? I think that shows us that the market is still kind of limited right now. I just do. Now, in terms of the exposure, we have Tesla, we have, maybe I'm going to say Twitter in terms of involvement, Jack Dorsey, et cetera. We have SpaceX. We have these companies that are like hugely, highly technical, right? So it's just a fraction of the companies right now. There is so much potential out there. So as we look at the overall retracement in terms of where the price action is going right now, just realize, guys, if we're on the cusp or not, yes, the retail divisions have caught up with this and that. Maybe, it's a widespread. Maybe half the investors own on the side or a quarter own on the side. There are exact figures. We'll go through that. But some Bitcoin, right? Understandable. Yeah. There was enough demand. Understand this, that the JP Morgan division for their wealth clientele, there was enough of a demand that they said, yes, we're going to offer crypto funds to our clientele. That came as a matter of demand, right? So as we look at that, I'm trying to gauge the entirety of the space and the entirety of the levels of adoption that we might get in terms of the overall kind of a corporate structure of beyond the mere technicals. Like, if we have a silicone chip manufacturing company that is involved in it versus, well, now we're starting to have mainstream companies that aren't specifically involved in, like, let's say either space exploration or autonomous driving cars. It's very advanced, guys, and that's a very small market percentage. Yes, they're big players, but I just think there's a lot of potential beyond the retail, okay, in terms of investing. And now that is expanding. There's going to be some increased capitalization going into Bitcoin, et cetera, just because as a factor of that. That's also going to require, guys, some education. Understand, these are just some issues to talk about. Those analysts, those traders that work for JP Morgan in the wealth management division, guys, you probably understand. Some of you are them, okay? But the ones who may not be, you're learning, right? If you are one of them, guys, if you're institutional, you're learning. The guys who are here who've been in crypto for 5 or 10 years and they're trading and they love the space, guys, that you could probably put on a clinic for some of these institutional investors. Literally, you could probably show up and literally just, you wouldn't need a book. You wouldn't need a technical analysis book. Now, for trading, they may have some things to teach us, right? They've been trading. They're good at trading. But from an actual fundamental standpoint, what is cryptocurrency? How does it function? What's the hash rate? Guys, you may have the upper leg on that. So that requires that. I'm not going to say that's a barrier, but it's something that's another level of implementation as we talk about the acceptance of Bitcoin beyond the upper echelon. And guys, 15%, over 15% in the last 4 days. Beautiful job. If you're just showing up, hit the like button so I know that you just plugged into the room. I can cover some of the pricing targets I went over. But 15% move in the last 4 days. Beautiful job on BTC. We moved just to recover, guys. We covered from 29,000 up to currently at 34,000. Like, nice moves. We had good trades. We banked good trades, guys. Multiple coins that we're trading in the background. You guys, that pinned tweet is Gate Exchange. If you guys want to trade with us around us, etc., we welcome day traders. Anybody wants to go and hit it, guys, book positive trades, you guys go ahead and join. So as we talk about the level of training that kind of needs to go on, we talked about that, and I show you guys Gate, so they're on the pin tweet, so you'll know what we trade on. We're hitting ICOs, initial coin offerings, etc. Want to let you guys know as subscribers that absolutely that is an opportunity for you to get involved in. You may not have known how to get involved in a startup coin. Well, you can do it on an exchange level. It's not a swap. It's not anything like that. This is an exchange. It's a very, very nice exchange where you can enter limit orders and stop loss orders. Yes, very nice. So you'll love it. In terms of the nature of kind of two things that need to occur, like, first of all, in terms of the breadth of acceptance or the breadth of utility that Bitcoin has, I think it's really unlimited to encompass some of these non-technical, non-highly technical companies, right? Absolutely. It doesn't have to be a self-driving car company and a space exploration company. It can be all the companies, guys. That's a big market. I love that. It's a big market. That's the way I think of it. That's a big market. We have something to look forward to. I think that things will get there in terms of crypto. Now, in terms of the other issue that we have like the adoption, I'll say the acceptance in the iBanking division and the investment division, to where, yes, they need to accept it within that paradigm and offer to their clients. The retail is saying, we want this, guys. Even now, amidst the retracement, and maybe especially now the retail, and it's interesting because a lot of people, 7 out of 10 people right now are telling me, I'm interested in Bitcoin. What's the right price? What are we doing? A lot of people telling me right now Bitcoin is kind of the interesting thing because it's down. They want to get it before it goes back up, guys, and more if it goes lower, if they can. They understand the pricing cycle. So that's positive. Within that dynamic, imagine JP Morgan. Imagine a BlackRock literally having, $1 trillion under management plus, right? Trillions of dollars under management. Imagine them not knowing crypto as well as you. And you're like, of course, right? That's because that's what you do, right? But in that context of that, they need to be trained. They need to learn the space. The demand is there. And it's interesting to think about, to some extent, a drop in price or a limitation in the function of the market that we might blame ourselves, or we might blame Elon, we might blame whoever in the world. Well, it's just happening. Guys, there may not even be really trained brokers to deal with this on the retail level of things as it needs to be implemented. Have you thought of that? The demand may be there. It's being withheld from investors. So that's something that's going to have to evolve. So the news that we got from JP Morgan this week, and I think you guys connect with that. Like, it's a good point we haven't talked about in a while. What if the drop in price is to a degree, literally, guys, because how do you buy crypto? Well, you have to sign up on Coinbase. You have to sign up on, we go on Gate. Gate is the way to go. You have to go, but people have to go out of their regular routine. They talk to their broker. They talk to their, think about it, guys. What are they going to call their Morgan Stanley broker or whoever it is, Fidelity or Schwab? They can't get the product. They can't get this. So to some extent, JP Morgan opening their doors is like monumental, right? They can just make a phone call and just buy. Hello. That's what we need, right? So we can't expect everyone just to download an application. It's next to your Facebook icon. And no, some people that are well-to-do have not had access to it. So I believe that's been a frustrating factor as we were looking at potentially going into a super cycle. One of the reasons is it's just, yes, it needs adoption at the corporate level beyond that technological scale. Correct. We also need to be able to. We also need to be able to have it implemented within the investment community, that they understand what it is, that they can actually deal with it. It's been more volatile than a regular investment. It has different nuances. It doesn't have a price to earnings ratio. It doesn't have any of that other stuff, right? It just has price action and utility. And normally we like to see a management team, someone affiliated with it. And normally that turns into some of the corporations that have decided to adopt it. They'll speak about it. They'll do things like Elon and Jack Dorsey went on and did. Jack did say, I like this about Twitter. He said it would be a big part of the future of Twitter. I thought that was really important. They're setting the lead. I just think I bring up these issues because they're kind of natural limitations for us to understand. It's like, well, people haven't been able to buy it. We have. We're young enough to get involved and hit the technicals and hit our computers. Some people, they're well-to-do. They want to invest. They haven't been able to. They're not into a crypto exchange, guys. So this is a big facilitation in terms of the opening up and the broadening of the market. We're looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Is it enough to completely recover? I'm going to tell you guys, it's a step in the right direction. We know that. We went bullish, in kind of the back room, etc. With this chart formation here, we definitely stepped into this chart formation in terms of a designation ready to deploy, right there. And it was a nice move to the upside. We're up. Let me measure this out again with the current pricing, just so we know. And I'll even do it on the candlesticks. Yeah, 15.2%. Let's do it on the candlesticks so we can see exactly where we're at. And there we go. Let's measure this out exactly so we know what the pricing from 29.2 essentially up to 17. Up to 17%, guys, a 17% gain in 4 days. That's beautiful, guys. 20% near it, between you guys, over a 17% gain in 4 days. That's beautiful, guys. For you who are day trading this, that's a nice move. So we've broken through this area of resistance. We've talked about some other, I'd say limitation or market factors that we want to keep an eye on and we want to stay aware of. Also, new investors who come into the space, we want to be able to educate them about how we trade, what it means to trade. Does crypto require trading? Some people may want to know that because a lot of them will have an entry. Do they have an exit? We can talk about, you guys will be able to talk about what you've been through in the space. I think it's just kind of like maybe a hallmark duty of like respectable crypto guys that at least, whatever you do in life is fine, but we can do that with fellow investors and spend that time with them. And that's why I spend the time with you guys, in addition to having a lot of fun trading with the VIPs in the back room. So, this has been a good stream, guys. I appreciate it. Saturday night, I want you always to eat well, sleep well, because crypto is open 24/7. Also want you to invest in those relationships that are key and that you knew were worth investing in before you started investing in crypto, or still while you invest in crypto. I will talk about one more thing before we take off, guys, is the RSI. Guys, key indicator, keep your eye on the RSI. Lower time frames are going to hit the RSI more frequently and give you those indications of a move to the upside. We'll do an entire series on RSI and MACD. We'll do an entire, one on all of the indications so you guys can put all that together and formulaically approach your probabilities in terms of achieving a positive trade, hopefully every time, guys. This is London with the Crypto Kingdom. It's been great to spend some time with you, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. We'll probably come to you